everybody. It's another episode of the Dunces Podcast. And we are here today with the Dunces, officially. It's been a while since all four of us have been together. Jeremy, how you doing, bro? Look at you with the suit and everything. How you feeling, bro?
Doing good. Thank you for asking, Jason. How are you guys? How you been? How you been? How you
I'm
feeling?
great.
Chilling.
Johnny, Isandro, you guys look amazing. Okay. Johnny, where you at, Johnny? Where you at, Johnny? Where you at?
We do, Jay.
I'm currently here with LeBron James and the rest of the Lakers. I'm with their doctors talking about their options for the playoffs. Just so many injuries around the team, so just consulting, talking about what's next for them. Just LeBron James.
How's the ankle?
Watch your ankle. Okay. All right. Yeah, he's
They
good.
gotta fire you soon, bro. You don't even have your hand sanitizer in the bag. Look at you.
You're not even wearing a mask.
For real. Look at you, bro.
Bro, why are you guys hating? I don't understand why you guys hating, bro. I'm a medical professional.
You're right. I'm sorry.
6 feet apart.
I'm in the
6 feet apart. 6 feet apart.
Here. But anyway, guys.
Hand sanitizer companies, please sponsor me. I'm sorry.
They won't. Johnson & Johnson, though. Shout out to
Johnson.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, did you finally get feeling back in your arm after
Never.
3 weeks?
No, my arm is still atrocious. But that's not the topic of today's podcast. No. Today, we actually have something a little different for you guys. Normally, we always start by talking about what's going on around the league, what interests us, what interests my team, Brooklyn, what interests Johnny's team in the Lakers. Sometimes Jeremy, because, shout out Steph Curry. And Isandro just loves basketball. But today, we want to talk about who are the top 5 point guards to ever play the game of basketball in the NBA. I just want to make that clear. In the NBA. We're not talking college. We're not talking high school. No. In the NBA, who are the top 5 point guards according to the Dunces? So, guys, let's just start it off here. I think we all can agree Magic Johnson is definitely in our top 5. Would anyone care to disagree?
Could have been me, but
You're right.
Yeah, the ACL. Yeah.
I think Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time. For many reasons, but I think Isandro talked about it before we started the podcast. His prime was basically his rookie season, and then it never ended, right? Like, Magic Johnson just got better and better each year, and he was just great. I mean, and he made his teammates around him better. He won that championship solely by himself. So, what do you
They
guys?
gave him AIDS to shut him down. That's what it took.
Well, we gotta get this man out of here, bro.
Yo, Johnny, y'all accepting jobs over there at the Lakers facility, bro? I think I'm out of a job.
Bro, that's crazy. I just realized the Boston Celtics found one woman, bro, to end Magic Johnson's entire career, bro. They sat her down. They're like, hey, man.
They said, "How do we stop him?" Jordan? Nope.
They said, bro, 6'7" point guard. We gotta stop this. Sarah, go do your thing.
Why is her name Sarah?
Okay,
You're evil.
that just happened, guys. But thank you for that, I guess. But you're wow, that's I don't even know what to say after that. But Magic Johnson, he's the best point guard of all time. How many championships does he have? I believe it is 5, if I'm not mistaken. Could have won more, but of course, illness happened to him. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. But you're so stupid, Isandro.
Okay, but if we're talking about Magic Johnson, who do you think was his biggest AIDS?
Aid.
Magic, if you're watching this by any chance, we love you.
No,
We love you.
get out of that hospital.
We just gotta laugh it out.
Oh, okay. Get out of that
Get it
hospital.
out of your system, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, guys. AIDS Association, please sponsor us.
The ADA.
ADA, please sponsor us.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the ADA has anything to do with AIDS, though.
This
That's just,
podcast
a random thought.
definitely has gone out. I don't know how to go back to it, but second greatest point guard. We don't
Definitely.
we don't know who it is. So here is where the discussion really starts. Also, by the way, Magic Johnson, if you are watching this, we're just kidding. But and
Also-
we are, because
also-
it's technically HIV and not AIDS. We're proud of you, bro.
Yeah. Keep it
Yeah,
positive.
exactly. And also, please sponsor us, Magic Johnson. We're sorry.
Okay.
So
So
he's saying, I'm not gonna do that.
yeah, he's really not. Yeah.
He's not gonna aid us, bro.
He hates us now. But,
He's not gonna aid us at all.
I'm not going to be there. Oh.
Hate the world, but
Hey, bro, my patient coming up with AIDS is gonna
I
hate
think this is the worst start of a podcast we've ever had.
me.
But
Or is it the best?
I don't know. But anyway, now let's have a real discussion. Magic Johnson, of course, hands down, greatest point guard of all time. He is the Lakers. He is the Lakers. The Lakers, they made a lot of money off of him, and they're still making a lot of money off of him because Magic Johnson, goated. However, there are many other point guards around history of the NBA that definitely deserve consideration to be in the top 5. Who is somebody that I say that we can all unanimously agree should definitely be in the top 5 point guard consideration? Who is somebody you believe, Johnny, that we should all be like, all right, definitely?
I think we'll actually have 2. I mean, actually, it's my whole list, but I mean, I guess for right now, just Steph Curry. That's not even a question. Just because Steph Curry has already implemented himself as top 5 point guard just because of his ability to score the ball. I mean, before the LeBron, I think the LeBron era, point guards weren't even used to score the basketball. But Steph Curry can facilitate just as well as those guys and score just as good as MJ did. So Steph Curry has, just off of this season alone, he's implemented himself as the top 5 point guard.
Anybody disagree with that? Because I definitely do not. Jeremy, you don't agree? You don't disagree, of course. He's your guy. I mean, I thought you were going to mention it from the beginning.
Imagine being a Warriors fan and not thinking Steph Curry's top 5.
Explain to us a little bit more, Jeremy, because you're a fan of his and you're a fan of the Warriors. So why do you think Steph Curry deserves to be in the top 5?
Well, he should be top 2, in my opinion, as well. The first unanimous MVP ever, 3-time championship, led and helped lead a team as well, putting up numbers that nobody in the history in the NBA, breaking his own 3-point record not once, not twice, from numerous occasions. And
How many times did he beat it? Was it?
How many
Was it
times
3?
did he beat it? Bro, you didn't even give us a specific number. I'm
Yeah,
worried.
He said not twice, not. But
He's
numerous
going
times.
pause. Not twice.
I think you like that. You
multiple.
like that, right? Like that. But anyways, but point valid, he's still breaking records right now.
I gotta search up how many times he broke up the record. I don't trust Jeremy anymore.
All right.
I mean, I can't discredit Steph Curry, especially with everything you gave me.
And also what Johnny made, because I think Johnny made the same point as well. Like he changed the game. He changed, like people wanted to be like Mike. He wanted to be like Mike. Now people want to shoot like Curry. He transformed the 3-point line. He's at a certain degree, he evolutionized the game of basketball to a certain degree.
Yo, Giannis is chucking up 12 threes a game now, bro. Like, I mean, did you see that game? He shot 4 for 12. But I mean, the whole league wants to shoot. You know?
Curry inspired that behind that movement. Who wants to be like Mike? No, we want to be like Curry now.
Yeah, it's funny to hear you say that because Shaq was recently on the podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson talking about Curry, why he's one of his favorite players to play, and they were both mentioning, by both I mean Matt Barnes and Shaq. They were saying that kids nowadays, all they do is pull up, like to just to warm up. It's not dribbling drills. It's not passing drills. No, it's shooting, and it's not shooting from the 3-point line. No, it's from the half court line. Like that's what they're doing. And who else inspired that? I mean, that was all Curry. So I agree. I think he's definitely in the top 5. Is he top 2? I don't think so. But Isandro, do you think that Curry just shouldn't be in the top 5 at all, or do you agree that
He should be. I think when it comes to sports in general, but especially the NBA, there are certain criteria that players meet that just automatically put them, like it's like a prerequisite. Boom, you're in there already. That automatically put them into a discussion. Being top 5 in assists, being top 5 in this other thing, steals, whatever. And for Curry, it's being the greatest shooter in NBA history. That automatically puts him into a top 5 discussion. Where he ranks in that top 5 discussion is up for debate. However, being a point guard who's shooting at the level that he's been doing where he is literally the only one breaking his own. He's breaking his own records, as Jeremy mentioned. That automatically makes him a top 5 point guard.
Yeah, and for those who disagree, um, I mean, just look at the numbers, look at the stats, and look at how much he's impacted not just the game of basketball, not just his team, but the game of basketball in general. I mean, the points are there, the stats are there. Steph Curry definitely deserves to be top 5.
Yeah, I do want to say it wasn't just Curry; it was Curry and Clay, but it was mostly Curry. Just so you know, it's not all Curry that impacted the shooting revolution. Clay was in there too.
I'm not just talking shooting though. I'm just talking like the way Curry plays. Like
I know. I'm just talking about in general.
That's interesting. Did he? I don't think so. I don't think Clay.
Yeah, because
I think Clay.
I don't know who mentioned this, but they literally study Clay's shooting technique in college. Like like coaches teach their players that. He has records for most threes in a game, I believe, and he has most points in a quarter, maybe most points in a half. I'm not sure. But
that's not going to revolutionize the way kids play basketball.
Okay, but how many threes? Look, Steph has the most 10 plus threes in a game, right? He has like 18 or 20 of those, right?
Yeah.
Who's second on that list?
Yeah, it is
Clay. It's Clay. Obviously, it's mostly Curry, but you can't say Clay didn't. Splash Brothers, not Splash Bro.
Because I think for the sake of this argument, because
just for the point guard debate, I just wanted to make some things clear, though.
We're not talking about like the Warriors, like why they're such a good. No, we're talking about Curry. Curry has revolutionized the game of basketball. It wasn't,
but not single-handedly though. I just want to make that clear.
No, it was single-handedly though.
It was.
Yeah, because Klay Thompson.
Yeah, bro. You see.
You don't get the greatest shooting backcourt in NBA history without the second player in the backcourt.
You see Klay Thompson shooting step back threes off the dribble, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
You see Klay shooting from deep though.
But Curry does the same exact thing. I mean, I think Klay is such a great complementary piece, but I mean, Curry revolutionized the game in its entirety. I mean, that's not even a debate.
It's not a question. Klay doesn't.
I'm not arguing who had the bigger impact. I'm just saying you can't ignore what Klay did, because to say it was just Curry is kind of ridiculous. I mean, obviously it was Curry and Klay, but mainly Curry.
No.
Yeah, obviously because Splash Brothers. I mean, how do you get that name? You put literally anybody else in that, and it's not Splash Brothers. He is undebatably the second greatest shooter in NBA history, and it's not close. It's really not.
No, Klay Thompson got all his threes just running around off.
Exactly.
Most
miles ran in the NBA.
No one is discrediting Klay Thompson and how important, how valuable he is.
You're saying that he revolutionized it, and he did. You are, in fact, saying that Steph Curry was the sole reason why people do this. People pull up from half court. He is the biggest contributor. He is not the only reason.
Hate play shots in 2K. Steph Curry is literally a play shot. Like, he made that build, basically, and that's why all these kids want to be like that. But the most important one, obviously, are players like Klay, who can shoot the three and who can defend at an exceptional rate and who complements point guards like Steph Curry. But who revolutionized the game is Steph.
You're talking about I think using Curry's success with the way he revolutionized the game. Klay is a huge contributor to Curry's success, but revolutionizing the game, bro, that's one person. That's
all Curry, bro.
Like, come on, bro. Yeah,
that's all Curry. I mean, that's all Curry. Anyway, that's not.
I find it hard to believe that one person, single, just 100%. You're saying 100%, and it's physically impossible for 100% of anything to be anything. You can't have 100. You can't say Curry 100% did this, because there are other players who contributed to this. He is the main contributor, and he is one who we give the credit to, and he is undoubtedly the greatest shooter in NBA history.
Okay, but first of all, Curry was doing this in college, remember?
Yeah.
Without Klay. So that just speaks to the point. Like, he had his own style of basketball before he even went to the Warriors. That really changed the way we saw shooting. So,
and I mean, there were definitely players like Curry. Like Gilbert Arenas is a player that he loved chucking up shots, and but that wasn't normal at that time. Steph
No.
Curry normalized it. So like I don't know, Isandro. Like, I mean, the main topic of this podcast is the top 5 point guards. So I don't really want to get too in depth into it, even though we kind of
Yeah.
did. But it's Curry is definitely in the top 5 list. We can definitely have this discussion another day, but for the sake of argument, I think that you're wrong. So now another point guard that we we like
I'm
to
not, but okay.
bring up, Isandra. Let's ask you now. Jeremy is actually not here right now. His camera is turned off, but he will be back soon. Isandro, who is a point guard that you believe should unanimously, that we should all agree should be in the top 5? We already have Magic, we already have Curry, not in that order, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to point that out there. Who is another point guard that you believe should be in the top 5?
Definitely John Stockton.
Yeah.
Okay. So make your argument. Why should Stockton be? I mean, I'm just for
Not
the
much of an argument, really, bro.
just for the
It's
conversation.
not. It's not. Yeah. Does anybody have any arguments against?
No,
Maybe we
I'm
can
just
just say
saying,
some
just
stats.
just give your reason as to why this man really just changed. Give your reason as to why John Stockton is in the top 5.
I feel like you mentioned this pre-pod, so I'll repeat it. I feel like you said that he had a really long prime. He was always basically in his prime, and it kind of shows. He and Malone being top 2 in scoring and him being number 1 in assists. They had some real longevity, and I feel like people really underrate longevity. And it's only this year that people are really looking into it. It's like, oh, LeBron's 36 in his 18th season, performing at this level, when players really haven't done that. But Stockton and Malone were kind of doing that before it was cool. He's number 1 in assists, and he is top 5 in steals, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe so.
yeah. That's
And if you think about a point guard, that is before Steph Curry changed the game, like we had mentioned before, he was the prototypical point guard: steal the ball, facilitate the offense.
you look up the word point guard in the dictionary, and I mean, Magic Johnson and John Stockton should be there. The two greatest point guards of all time.
I mean, if you look it up on Google, their pictures will pop up.
Exactly, yeah. So
I'm
what do
pretty
you
sure.
think, Johnny? Well, like, what's another reason as to why John Stockton should automatically be a top 5 point guard?
Well, I mean, Isandro, covered it pretty nicely, but I also think those. I like winning to be a huge part of being a top 5 point guard, because I mean you can be a top going point guard, but were you a big contributor of a team that could have contended to win a championship? And those runs of Utah really kind of underscores that. Those are some really good runs. I mean, he ran into Jordan twice, but one of the best players on one of the best teams in the NBA. He really kind of showed how great he was. So yeah, I mean, nothing really other than what Sandra said, but those runs with Utah. What was it? What was that year? How many times were they close to win the championship? Like what, 3 years? 2
Yeah.
years?
It was
Yeah,
like
they were dominant. Stockton was leading the way, and yeah, that's the thing that comes to mind for me.
No, I completely agree. I think John Stockton is he is what a point guard should be. Steph Curry is what people want to be, but what people should be and look up to is, and especially point guards nowadays, it should be John Stockton. Just making teammates better, finding them in their spots, and playing defense. I mean, John Stockton is one of the most underrated defenders because of his off-ball pestiness. So John Stockton definitely in my top 5. Jeremy, do you have anything else to add to that?
Regards of here's the thing. When I think about point guard, 2 people come in mind: Chris Paul and John Stockton. First thing, true point guard, true point guard, true point guard. Okay, I'm not gonna take away any merit to John Stockton because he's obviously an inspiration to many point guards who came after him. Well, after him, many people were inspired after him. But would I give him top 5 all time? Just my opinion. Imperfect opinion, I would say no. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Because there's other names that they could fit in. That's why.
Like who?
Yeah, that's what I was. Who do you think is better than?
You can't tell me another name that. I mean, you can tell me names that are going to be in the top 5, but not be in the top 5 ahead of him.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm still not. That could be yes or be no, but I would give him, if you be top 5, he'll be my top 5. Like top five. I wouldn't put him higher than 4. in the 5.
Hey,
But that's still in your top 5 though. You have
Oh
him
yeah,
in fifth.
wait, you're right. You're right.
Hey, Jeremy, I'm already putting you down as my next patient, by the way. Bro, what are you talking about, bro?
I'm hungry, dude. I'm
crazy.
hungry right now. I'm hungry.
No, you know what, Jeremy? Okay, so because this is the first one we're kind of disagreeing on, but not really, because he's technically still in his top 5. Jeremy, you have a list, I'm assuming. Who is your top 5 of all time? In order.
Hey, before you say that,
Yep.
so I think we can all agree Magic's number 1, correct? So we're
Yeah,
trying to formulate our top 5.
Yeah.
Now, where Stockton is on that top 5 is a discussion. He's our top 5, like no.
Of course.
But where is he on the top 5?
I feel like he's 2, and I feel like everybody else except for
I
Jeremy.
feel like he's 2 as well.
I don't think he's 2.
I think it's too.
So who's better than him?
Bro, to be honest, I'm
Curry.
putting CP3 over
Curry's better than
Stockton
him.
as
I'll
number
say
1.
right now, Curry's better than him.
Yeah, bro, Curry better than Stockton.
Curry's better than
That
him.
is true.
I'm taking-
That is true. You're absolutely right. Curry is better.
Hey, bro, I got CP3 on my list. CP3 is number 2 for me.
Tú estás en droga. Tú estás en droga.
I remember having
I
a
knew
debate
it.
with somebody over 2K party chat. Curry over CP3. Do you remember that, Jayson?
Of course I do.
Curry over CP3. I think CP3 is better. I'm not gonna lie. I'll take CP3 over Curry.
Okay.
All right, so where's Chris Paul?
Okay. Let's
Let's organize.
So
Okay.
Chris, okay, all right. So before I'm sorry, Jeremy, for asking you the question. So to name your top 5. Let's keep going how we're doing it. Chris Paul, top 5. All of us agree, right?
Yes.
Jeremy, you agree with that, right?
He's like, no, I got Nate Archibald.
But do you think that Chris Paul is in your top 5?
Hey, bro, if you say Monte Ellis, we shouldn't not in the podcast.
I was gonna say Pistol Pete, but dang.
Wait, so you're saying Pistol Pete, but you're not saying John Stockton?
No, I'm busting your.
Gotcha. Cool.
your chops. It's just that I have Big O in my list as well
So you're putting Big O over Chris Paul.
because he's the one. He's the one that, like, obviously he almost started it all. Like, what was his height again as a point guard? What was
He was like 6'3".
6'3".
That's pretty tall in his era, though.
But
See,
still,
he played in
the rare
the-
ones to start. He was the rare ones to start it all.
My thing though, Jeremy, is that you said when you think of point guards, you think of Chris Paul.
I think of Chris Paul. Yes, I know it's kind of contradicting, but at the same time,
You know, Jeremy, we'll let you think about it, bro.
Yeah.
you know
What
what?
do
It
you
is?
think about
I'm
it?
hungry. I have food right now looking at me right now.
All right.
We got to come up with a consensus list right now. At number 1,
Let's agree.
player we can
got
agree
Magic.
on.
Okay.
Yeah, we got Magic.
Yeah,
Magic is definitely not
No,
top 5.
Stockton is not number 2, bro. Chris
He's not
Paul
number
is
two.
number 2.
That's fine. Stockton is in our top 5 though. Okay,
Okay.
we have that.
Stockton, CP3, Curry.
CP3 isn't in our top 5
you know
yet.
what? I
because
respect that.
CP3 isn't in yet because Jeremy hasn't agreed with that yet. So we have Magic, Curry, Stockton as unanimously they are in our top 5. Okay. Here are other players that should be mentioned. Okay. I'm just gonna throw names out. If you guys feel like no, yes, okay, then by all means go ahead and do that. We have Isaiah Thomas. Should Isaiah Thomas, and I'm not talking IT Boston Celtics, no. I'm talking Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, the bad boy Pistons. Is Isaiah Thomas a top 5 point guard of all time?
So essentially the question you're asking is he better than CP3?
No.
Maybe Jayson could.
No.
Because right now we have Magic, Stockton, and who else? Curry, right? So
Yeah,
that's
but those
3.
are our 3 right now. Magic, Stockton, and Curry.
Okay, so then we have 2 slots to fill in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I put Isaiah Thomas on that list just because of the championships he won. He's got stats to back it up,
It's the chips.
but it's the championship. But like the
It's the
championships
chips.
are so profound. Like, I mean,
They meant something.
Those,
They-
that's a very good point, Jayson.
yeah.
They meant something to the organization. to the city and just
especially when they got him.
Yep.
In the middle of the dual dynasty of the Celtics and the Lakers, and you got the Bulls on their heels too.
And they disrupted that. Yeah.
They were right.
And they went back to back.
It's crazy because they had a good roster, right? They had Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, Vinnie Johnson off the bench, Rick Mahorn. They had Rick Mahorn. I'm sorry. They had a good team, but as great as Joe Dumars was, Isaiah Thomas was just amazing, and he should have definitely been a part of that dream team. That's not even a question. But
I mean, there was beef.
There was beef. There was beef.
Last dance, but Isaiah Thomas definitely, in my opinion, unanimously should be in the top 5. Chicago Bulls fans would disagree, but I think we could all agree that Isaiah Thomas is in the top 5, right, Jeremy?
I agree that.
Okay.
I mean, Chicago fans.
I forgot about Isaiah. I forgot about Isaiah Thomas for a minute.
Chicago fans don't agree with me, but this is why I treat them every week. So, you kind of say I'm a doctor. All right. Your promise is there.
It's fine, bro. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we have in our top 5 so far: Magic Johnson, John Stockton. I'm sorry, Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas. And
John Stockton, yeah. John Stockton, yeah.
So now
the one that was in question was CP3.
So CP3 is one. However, I just want to throw another name out there. One, I love him because it's my guy.
Jayson Kidd.
Yes, but because he won a championship, and he really made his teammates better, and he played great defense, just like CP3. Jayson Kidd, should he be considered in the top 5 discussion?
Yeah.
Personally, as much as I love him, I don't think he is a top 5 because of CP3. If CP3 wasn't there though, Jayson Kidd, by all means, he should be.
No, I'd put Russell Westbrook over Jayson Kidd in my top 5 all time. I would.
But the only thing that's really separating them is the chip.
I wouldn't argue that either. But
I wouldn't argue that either. I'm just mad.
And look, Jayson Kidd with those Nets teams, he went back to back to the finals. I mean, he didn't win any of them, but Russ hasn't been able to do that.
Jayson
that chip. That's saying the chip doesn't. I mean, I know Jayson Kidd was an integral part of that Mavs team. He was.
No, but that chip means a lot though. Even though LeBron choked, they still had to beat that Heat squad.
Yeah.
And Jayson Kidd,
and they swept the Lakers, who won the finals the previous year, and the Thunder.
People talk about how great of a series Jason Terry had. I think people really underestimate how well Jayson Kidd put those players in their spots. I mean, Jayson Kidd, smartest point guard, one of the smartest point guards of all time. So, but
I mean, but he was a good veteran on that bench. Like I'm saying, like I don't think Jayson Kidd winning a championship puts him over Russell Westbrook. For example, like if you put Isaiah Thomas over Russell Westbrook could have better stats, but Isaiah Thomas's championships were so profound. Like that's not even real much of a discussion.
They mean more than Kids, yeah.
Exactly. Jayson Kidd's championship doesn't eliminate Russell Westbrook from that conversation because he was an integral part.
I agree.
Let's be real. I mean, Tyson Chandler's defense, Dirk and Jason Terry, who got hot, really
was all in. Reminds me
and LeBron choked. So
yeah. So okay, so Jayson Kidd out of there. You mentioned a name, and I love that you mentioned him, Russell Westbrook. There's been a lot of talk about Russell Westbrook over the past few weeks. Stephen A. Smith has been calling him out, and there's beef with him and his wife, and by his wife I mean Russell Westbrook's wife. And then he go on a streak. Scott Brooks says he's the second greatest point guard of all time. Kind of the reason why we're doing this podcast. Is Russell Westbrook even the top 5 point guard of all time, in your opinion? Before you guys say anything though, you guys are probably gonna say Chris Paul. Both had very similar careers if you look at it. One has made it to the finals.
Yeah.
One has won an MVP.
Yeah.
One has averaged a triple-double several times.
Yeah.
And both are great defensively at their position.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
So the amount of hate that Russell Westbrook gets by a lot of people.
Can I just say I love CP3? I don't like Westbrook, bro. We can live to say we just don't like Westbrook.
You're right. I love Westbrook.
It's fine. You don't have to like him, but you have to respect him.
I'm just kidding. I respect Westbrook, but man, now when you bring that up,
It's right. It's a weird.
Yeah,
It's weird to
that's a
look
really
at.
good point.
We look at Chris Paul and we see, wow, like he really makes these teams better. So
So
has
does Russ.
Westbrook. I mean, this season it's been a very terrible season for Russ's team. Not Russ individually,
Team.
his
But
team.
but dog, Russ is playing with a torn quad right now, bro.
He is balling. Like this is different. Like the Russ that we see now, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
why I don't know the
This
CP3
may be
and the
this,
Russ.
tough.
may be- this is like one of the better. I don't know, dog. Like remember
Because
that?
look,
remember that
you
know
give Russ a good coach and Devin Booker, where would the Suns be? I'm not saying Russ would be in a better position than that
I don't
CP3
know.
has
I
him
don't
in,
think,
but
I don't think that'd be number one.
it wouldn't be number one, but they'd still be up there. I mean, CP3's impact is well documented. However, so is Russ's. I mean, he's led
don't-
bums.
I
And he's
don't- I
leading
don't-
bums right
He's a
now.
regular season player. He's a regular season player, though.
He's
I
a
don't
regular
think-
season player because he's led bums. They're not going anywhere in the playoffs.
But
Yo,
I
I have a
don't
question.
think
I have a
that-
question. I have a question.
Go
What
ahead.
do you think one of the Suns' biggest strengths are that they had like since day one? What do you think they had? What
when
do
they
you
got
think?
CP3
Yeah,
leadership.
leadership. And can you see that they have a good chemistry?
Oh yeah, the
Confidence.
chemistry
He's
is
got confidence.
Okay, well that's because he has a good relationship with Cam Johnson, Monty Williams. He's been friends with basically like his entire life, and also he had a great relationship with Devin Booker in the past and with James Jones. So you put Chris Paul in an organization that's already familiar with him, like heavy, and then you put Russell Westbrook there, who probably doesn't. Does that chemistry automatically happen? Does is Westbrook like? I mean, Westbrook got to get his points. You know, Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's. I don't think that chemistry is like there.
I think that right there is the point that really like turns people off on Russell Westbrook. He
Exactly.
needs to get his points, and yeah, I mentioned he won an MVP. He's won scoring titles. He's averaged triple doubles. Are these inflated stats? I wouldn't say so, but the way that he plays,
Oh, they are. They are.
the way that Chris Paul plays, Chris Paul really makes his teammates better. Like you see it. With Russ, you just see stats, like assists are being piled up.
That pattern.
Nah, he's a stat pattern. Let's not be crazy here. Like in OKC, Steven Adams was in so many times to get positions to get rebounds, and he just let Russell Westbrook get it. Like that's stat pattern, bro.
In that regard, but not for
I'm
the
not saying
assists
it's
though,
not
because
impressive, but it's
He could have easily scored at the same time he decided he wants to pass.
facts. That's facts.
I do think so, but
It's true.
it may come from selfish reasons, but the fact that he is getting his teammates involved can't be understated. There are players that would say, "Hey, I can get 10 assists, or I can score an
Getting
extra."
teammates involved and making them better are two completely different things.
But no,
I-
here's the thing. We all praise CP3 as this guy, like, bro, CP3 makes every team better. But it's like he's never reached that mountaintop. He hasn't even made the finals yet. That's what's so weird. It's like CP3's like praised as this guy, but he's never really made it.
It's like it just
Granted,
But here's my thing, though.
if he never got injured against Golden State, they would have won Game 7.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I kind of put him up there. Like he made it to the finals, but still. whatever.
And because Russell Westbrook made it to the finals when he wasn't the best player.
No, exactly.
And Kevin Durant was obviously the best player. And Harden, he wasn't better than Russ at that point. But now in hindsight, we see how Harden, what he became. If it was Harden and Durant, would they have won together? Who knows?
Harden choked that series though.
I mean, but my point is that
Like in general, right?
Russell Westbrook, as great as he is, and as much as I probably do believe that he should be mentioned in top 5, I don't put him over CP3.
No, he's
I
not.
think CP3 makes his teammates better. Doesn't just involve them. He got DeAndre Jordan all-team NBA first team, bro. By all means, that right there should make him an MVP caliber player every year of his career, right?
I mean, we see the difference just this season with a player like James Harden. I mean, he came into the lineup and DeAndre Jordan was like, "Oh, DeAndre, is he back? He's doing kind of good now?" And then James Harden got injured, and then DeAndre was kind of in and out of the lineup.
Yeah.
So the ability to elevate your teammates, and that's kind of what Jayson Kidd did too. Besides the assists, he kind of did a little bit of what Russ did and CP3, elevating your teammates while also getting them involved in getting your stats.
Exactly, but Jason Kidd did it religiously, kind of like how CP3 does it. Not in Russell Westbrook's mentality. He did it with CP3's mentality. He wanted to make his teammates better, and because he wanted a chance to win. Chris Paul's done the same things, and Chris Paul, he had a good team in Charlotte, but there was no reason for them to be that good. He had a good team in LA, great team in LA, but CP3 was the reason why they became a great team. It wasn't because of those other guys there. When he went to Houston, he was that missing piece that they needed to win.
They were this close to beating us. They were this close to beating us.
Yeah.
They should have beaten you. No, they should have beaten you, bro.
Yeah.
If Chris Paul didn't get hurt, we would have lost.
I agree.
I mean,
Hands down.
If Kawhi didn't get injured, lot of what ifs.
That's true too. But that's
against San Antonio, yeah.
That's another topic for another conversation. However, so does CP3 get the nod? Like, is he above Russell Westbrook in top 5?
Yes, he's above Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
Yep.
So we have our top 5 list. I just want to throw out some names here that we have not mentioned yet.
Honorable mentions.
There's Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. Definitely didn't deserve any of them, but he should be up here in the conversation. Don't look at me like that, bro. He's my coach, but he knows it. He knows it
too. I mean, Kobe dropping 60 a game. I mean,
Oscar Robertson, triple-double machine. He was the one who originated.
Yeah, I just want to just a quick shout out to Steve Nash's ex-wife. That divorce, that's the reason why he's not in the top 5. Also, please sponsor us. Go on, continue.
Okay.
I didn't hear a word you said.
Okay. Anyway, I heard it all. Gary Payton, best defensive point guard of all time. That's not even a question. Jerry West, the logo. Only reason why I put a question mark next to him is because I'd probably have him in my top 5 shooting guards of all time, because I believe Jerry West was a shooting guard, not a point guard. Nate Tiny Archibald, Walt Frazier, Dame Lillard, Rajon Rondo, Mark Price, Tony Parker. Can I just mention him real quick? He has 4 championships with one of the biggest dynasties in NBA history. Really helped that team, Why isn't he mentioned in the top 5 over CP3? Was it because he was in San Antonio and because that was Tim Duncan's organization?
I think because he was in San Antonio, we had such a small sample size, because you can't say you take Tony Parker, you put him on another team, he immediately brings that team, he elevates that team. But you can't say that about CP3 and to an extent Jason Kidd, right? But he was always in San Antonio. And he had Greg Popovich, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, other amazing players. And then when Kawhi came in and he was playing amazing defense on LeBron.
It was a great system, how they all played a role.
We can't say that he was going to be better. He was going to be good somewhere else.
So we're notorious. So like San Antonio is notorious for their system, correct?
Yeah.
Like Tony Parker learned the system and became an elevated player because he mastered that system, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like if you put Tony Parker in his prime in San Antonio into another team, that team probably would have done well. I mean, we just don't know. We've just seen that. It's like Tom Brady in New England Patriots, by the way. Like he had to learn under that system to become a great player. Then once he elevated and mastered it, he can take it on to another team like he's done with Tampa, almost like the same way. But we just don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but weren't some people saying that maybe Tom Brady wouldn't have been as good as he was in Tampa? Right?
Yeah,
maybe they thought that he would.
They were wrong, because look what he did.
Wrong.
Well, first of all, Tom Brady didn't have a great season. There's a lot of things that went well for him. His defense is the one who carried him. Like so many things had to go right for him.
Johnny, this isn't an NFL pod right now, bro.
This isn't an NFL pod. He won the Super Bowl under contentious circumstances, but he won it.
It was a game.
Giselle Brady, I'm sorry for talking about your husband like that, and please sponsor us.
That's it. That's
Johnny down terrible for sponsors right now.
Please sponsor us.
No, we're losing a sponsor every time I mention one. Oh my god.
So here's some other names: Bob Cousy, Chauncey Billups. Chauncey, I don't think so. Bob Cousy has 6 championships, but it was during an era where players sucked. So
I met Chauncey Billups outside of a Suns game. I don't know if that counts for anything.
Did you meet him or did you make eye contact with him?
No, you're disgusting, Isandro. Can I have my moment?
Bro, let him live the moment.
No, how did you already know I didn't actually meet him? He was taking pictures.
No, because I do the same thing. It's like, yo, I met Derek Jeter, but we literally just made eye contact and he was at bat. Like, what do you? That doesn't count.
Like me, I met Michael Strahan, but I literally talked to him for like 1 second, but he was running away from the Brooklyn and Golden State game.
See, when I saw Jayson for the first time, like for me, when I first saw his like eyes, bro, that's basically like tongue kissing, like this like the same thing, bro.
Can we move
This
on?
podcast just got NSF.
Absolutely right,
W.
Johnny. That's just that white chocolate. You feel me? But anyway, let's talk a little bit more about who our top 5 are. We got Magic Johnson, John Stockton. I'm gonna go in my order from our list: Magic Johnson, John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry, Chris Paul. Is that an accurate top 5 list, or does anybody?
I agree. So that is me and Jayson and I's list.
Johnny.
My list is number 1 Magic, 2 CP3, 3 Curry, 4 Stockton, 5 Isaiah Thomas.
I put Stockton in 2 because, I mean, regardless of your reasons, the only reason Stockton doesn't have a chip is because he went up against the GOAT, the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan, right? Is that the general consensus? He would easily have 2 chips if it were not for Michael Jordan.
Can I talk?
So
Can I talk now?
him not being in 2, it's kind of blasphemous.
Can I talk?
Steph Curry has a chip and he changed the
Can I
game.
talk?
Wait, before you do, Jeremy, I just want to say, if John Stockton and Karl Malone really did have a chance those 2 times, they should have beat Houston those 2 years that Houston won when Michael Jordan was out of the league. I just want to say that. But Jeremy, go ahead.
Magic, Curry, Stockton, Thomas, and CP3 in that list.
I'm not mad at that list. I'm not mad because
I'm not mad just because like it's the consensus like top 5.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and you're a Curry fan, so there's going to be some bias in there.
yeah, it's whatever.
You're a Warriors fan.
It is really bad though, but it's
not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
I mean, who do you have in 2? You have CP3 number 2, and you're criticizing his list, bro.
No, CP3 is literally called the point guard. Like I don't know how you can argue that. Like
okay, all right.
Called the point guard. Is Stockton called the point guard?
Honestly,
No.
that compliment means literally nothing when the point guard was Magic Johnson, who was the consensus number 1.
What do Stockton's kids call him when they come home? Hey, Dad. Chris Paul's kids say point guard.
Chris Paul's kids call him Cliff Paul, bro.
That's very true. I agree with that.
Okay, so that's the point. Like Chris Paul, he can adjust to any circumstance. He's a point guard and he's a State Farm commercial agent. Like in both, that's a true point guard, willing to do whatever it takes for the sake of State Farm. Please sponsor us. You get what I'm going here.
I think for the sake of for the conversation, look, Isandro, your list is the one that I mentioned, right? I'm gonna change it up just a little bit, just so that we could have like. If anything, I'd probably put Isaiah Thomas.
Bro. You're just gonna agree with me.
I'd put Isaiah Thomas over John Stockton, so it'd be Magic, Isaiah, Steph, Stockton, Chris Paul, because Isaiah
Thomas as the second greatest point guard to ever play the game does not sound right.
It doesn't make sense to me at all.
I mean, obviously, I'm just saying it for the sake of argument. Obviously, my main list is the best one.
So stick to your main list. We don't need to have different lists, bro.
The only reason why I'm mentioning it is because if we were ever to talk to probably Magic Johnson, he would probably say that Isaiah Thomas was the second greatest point guard of all time. So if Magic Johnson, the greatest point guard of all time, is saying that Isaiah Thomas is the second greatest of all time, how can I disagree with that? You know,
no,
like,
because
we could argue with that. We could argue.
Because because I don't trust NBA players that are so nostalgic to their eras, bro. Like I don't trust them.
True.
Like you just see Dr. J's list, bro.
yeah,
Like,
I know.
That's my point. That's why it doesn't really mean much to me.
Yeah, Dr. J immediately after that first team immediately discredited. You just immediately discredit his opinion. Irrelevant. Doesn't matter at all.
Like okay, he just loves his era. Just say you loved your era. Don't make a list. I
and
love my
Bill.
era.
What?
Well,
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell Dr. J just to be
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
What was this?
Okay. Let's not disrespect Dr. J, please. That's my guy.
I mean, he deserves it.
In New Jersey.
No disrespect.
ABA.
Disrespectfully. He
Hey, they're
deserves
calling
it.
him Dr. J. Are you at a doctor's office right now? I'm literally doing basketball activities at a doctor's office, and my
Dr.
name is
Pierre.
Dr. J.
Dr. Pierre.
We call him
I have
Dr.
a
J.
very
We call
good
him
medicine
Mr. J
degree.
because man's is stupid.
I have a very good medicine for you. You just gotta keep talking, bro. Keep talking.
What?
I want to hear you talk. Like I want to hear you like say something about whatever we're talking about.
Just I don't know.
All right, so
I was so confused as to where you were going with that, but I
that's-
do agree with that
that's the joke
decision.
of the day. But if anybody disagrees with any of our lists, I'm gonna stick to my main one though, which was again
The
Magic Johnson.
Dunces Podcast has systematic racism. Shutting the voice of another black man.
Hey, man.
BLM.
Hey.
All right, my bad.
So we got Magic Johnson in my list. Magic Johnson, John Stockton. Who did I say?
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry, Chris Paul. That's my top 5. Isandro's as well. Jeremy, you had
Actually, I'll switch up my list. I'll actually put CP3 ahead of Steph Curry, just because.
Okay, see there we go. Now you talking, bro.
Yeah, he's better. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Jeremy. You know it, but you're biased.
No, I'm not acknowledging that. Like, I'll acknowledge anything else but that.
But
He said I'm not acknowledging it.
I just realized something.
Because it's not true.
Hey, I just realized Steph Curry will never play as a true point guard ever again, most likely in his career.
You're right.
He's got to be like the primary scorer. So he probably won't be like.
I mean, this season he's been playing as a shooting guard because he facilitates the offense, but his off-ball play, how he gets open.
Draymond Green's basically the true point guard.
Yeah, Draymond's the point. He's the point forward. If you see the way they play, and it's been like that for a couple of years, but positionally it was Steph and Clay. It was like having 2 shooting guards on the team,
Yeah. So
which discredits him because CP3 has always been a point guard. Just saying.
man,
Thank you for getting back.
Steph is crazy. It's crazy. But if you guys want to get the rest of the list, I'm gonna put them down in the description. Johnny, Jeremy, just make sure you guys send me that. Just real quick, I just want to get some quick thoughts about what's going on around the NBA before we even get into what we were going to talk about. Halliburton is actually out for the rest of the season.
That doesn't really matter. I mean, he didn't get any ligament damage.
Wasn't
This
big
video.
But it just sucks because he was a really fun rookie to watch. But also Pacers head coach's future is uncertain. Nate Bjorken, obviously deservedly so. He was a terrible hire. They should have hired a way better coach than Bjorken. Mark Jackson.
They'll get Brad Stevens in the offseason.
No. First of all, he turned down the Indiana job. They gave him 7 years, $70 million.
Yeah,
So,
but Boston's gonna fire him when they get out in the first round.
No, they're not. They're not. First of
They're
all,
gonna keep him when they get out in the first round.
no. You think they're gonna look at this COVID season and be like, "Yep, even though you went through one
That's
of the
a good
most-
point. It is a
what do you-
COVID season. There's a lot of injuries. These are difficult. These are different times. I will give you that.
unless you're retarded, unless you're the best, dog. He went through so much,
Well, we're not saying retarded. You just mentioned COVID season, which is a good point. But in general, Brad Stevens has underperformed this season. There's no debate
And
about
every season he's been a head coach.
that.
He made it to
But
the
he at
Eastern
least got to the
Conference
Eastern
Finals.
Conference
They missed
Finals
it
every year.
Not literally last year. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Brad Stevens sucks.
But there have been results.
Hey, I don't
But
know. I
this
don't
year,
care.
there won't be
I
any
hate
results.
Boston.
Not regular season, not
Like-
postseason.
They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals of Grant Williams. bro.
I hate
Grant Williams is the worst player in the NBA.
I hate Boston. I'm a Nets fan. I'm supposed to hate Boston. Like screw Brad Stevens.
You're
Screw
supposed to
Payton.
hate Boston because they finessed you
Boston?
guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. Anyway, other news in the NBA.
Dunkin' Donuts, please sponsor us. Sorry for talking bad about Boston.
The
No.
greatest finesse in ever.
Screw you guys. So the Lakers.
No, can we talk about how bad Dunkin' donuts are? Like, why are they so terrible? I don't know. I'm sorry.
They're not. They're not.
They're
I mean,
terrible.
once you get, they're
Krispy
really
Kreme
not
is
terrible.
better.
They're
No,
not Krispy Kreme, but they're not.
You're Dunkin' Donuts at, though. That's the question.
That's very true. Also, you're getting donuts in Arizona. Donuts in Jersey are way better than that.
Honestly, the
Yeah,
food is way
donuts
just in
are like-
general. Best pizza in America.
Arizona's Dunkin' Donuts are like they're being dried out as soon as it comes to
Literally.
Arizona. Like, it's mad dry.
All that heat over there. But real quick, LeBron James said something very funny. He said that he doesn't like the play-in tournament and that whoever came up with the idea should be fired. Is this LeBron being serious or is this him crying because he's not the number 1 seed?
Oh,
I speak for some Lakers fan, and LeBron. For you know, LeBron's my favorite player. He's why I started watching basketball. But LeBron is just being emotional again for attention. It's like, bro, you weren't talking. I don't even want to get into it. Like, he's just mad.
yeah,
He just came up with a bad game. Like, bro, you haven't noticed how emotional LeBron's been getting lately? I'll never get back to 100%.
Ever since he went to the Lakers, bro.
He's getting old.
Every
He's
time he
getting
gets a
old.
foul
He's getting-
called on him, man's is crying, bro.
Getting old.
I'll
Because
never
of
get to
Oklahoma whenever
100% my entire career. Like, bro, just be quiet, bro. Be quiet. Dang.
Sponsor us though, right?
LeBron James.
Clutch Sports, please sponsor us. We're sorry. I love you, LeBron.
What's that guy's name? Rich Paul.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about it? Do you guys agree with LeBron, or does it really not matter? Like, how does this make the NBA look? Because usually whenever LeBron says something, it means something like, oh my God, like the NBA has to get on top of it. But how does this make the NBA look? Jeremy, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be biased here.
That's what I want.
I'm gonna give the merit to LeBron for why he's mad. I get it. Hold up. Before I say anything else, wait. I'm not done yet. Because I'm gonna say yes and no. He wasn't saying this when he was winning, so now he's complaining now. He's complaining about this now. So I don't know.
No. I'll give LeBron. No, Jay,
I have the word.
Let me stop you right there. When the idea came up in 2018, LeBron had the idea was trash. So he's been consistent. But I'm just saying he shouldn't be mad because this is. When you're done, I'll tell you why the playing is great for the NBA. I'm just saying his opinion is trash. Go ahead, my bad. But he's been consistent. But
I like it because this is where soccer fans comes in. There's something similar we have with the Champions League. Because why? Because we actually get to see who's actually the real team, who's actually going to win. Now, this means that a chance of getting injuries, yes, the chance of players playing more games than usual is my opinion. I think if I'm watching the setup correctly, there's more games and more chance of actually getting injured. That's why it's the only part I might disagree. But the rest of that, like Johnny said, you already mentioned it already before. You already knew about this, and now you're saying something about it right now at this point. Keep it quiet.
I like the honesty. Isandro, what do you feel about it?
I mean, yeah, Johnny. To go further on Johnny's point, he was consistent. And I guess you can kind of see the ideology. So 2018, he said he hated it, right? What was it, 2018 or something like that? And last year he said, okay, it's a good idea. And his mindset for this was because of the stoppage to, the season and for COVID, of course.
Exactly.
And this season he was complaining because he's under this mindset that, okay, we're not in, this isn't the exact same situation as last year, right? So this is a full season that we're playing. So why are we still doing this playing tournament? And it was only exacerbated by the fact that he potentially can be in the playing tournament. However, what he failed to realize was the fact that although it's not last season, this season is still COVID affected and it's still pretty bad. I mean, every other day you're playing a game and you're playing back to back. So you'll play three games in 4 days. So although it's not last season, it's still bad. And the playing tournament is still very important. And also he was a crybaby about it. That is also included in there. What are your thoughts, Johnny?
No, that exactly. You brought it on spot on. Because if you told LeBron these same things as he was the number one seed, he'd be like all for it, correct? He'd be like, oh yeah, these teams have went through a lot of COVID. This is an opportunity for them to get back into the playoffs at full strength. He'd be saying the same thing. But the reason why he's saying this now is obviously because we're in it. And the only reason why we're in the playing game, the only reason why I'm suffering in life is because Andre Drummond is the biggest bum at basketball I've ever seen in my life.
Offensively, yes.
Bro, Andre Drummond a bum. Marcus Gasol,
which isn't going to be a problem.
Marcus Gasol should be getting
maybe.
Marcus Gasol, take us home, my brother.
I saw
he made like 4 threes that one game.
I saw a stat that his plus minus is plus 31 in the 8 games that he's played, but he's missed like a good 9 games because they just don't want to play him. He's second highest in the NBA since April in plus minus. Like his usage rate is
Marc Gasol, right?
Marc Gasol, but he should be getting minutes, but because they have so many bigs now, it's not looking good from our boy Marquitos.
But I feel like Drummond's got to be. We got to use Marcus Gasol and Drummond like we used JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard last season. Like one of them has an increased role depending on the matchups that we have.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
The matchup.
So it's like
one game Dwight would start.
Yeah, exactly. If we're playing with a team of shooters, Marcus Gasol obviously provides that spacing for Anthony Davis to go to work. He can shoot the three occasionally, and he can facilitate. But if we're talking about like we're playing a team against the Bucks or somewhere like that, where we need big guys, correct? Like we got to go all out defensively. And in the finals, Drummond's got to be starting in the finals just because of defensive purposes only.
Yeah,
but my bad. Go back to the plan, Jayson. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, honestly, I think that LeBron, it looks great for the NBA. Kendrick Perkins hit it on the nose. He said that, LeBron is usually the one that dictates what happens around the league. Like, sure, they have the presidents, the basketball operator, all that stuff, but it's LeBron's league. It's not even a question. So the fact that the biggest star in NBA, possibly NBA history, is annoyed at something that the NBA is doing, I mean, it goes to show that, like, LeBron is scared. LeBron is scared that if he does make it to the play-in tournament with the injured team that he has, emphasis on injured, because I'm not saying that LeBron is trash, and I'm not saying that they won't win with AD and Dennis Schroeder, all these guys back, but if they're injured, LeBron has a chance to get knocked out of the playoffs for the second time of his Lakers career, and I don't think he wants that because his legacy, still on. Who knows if he is the greatest of all time? I don't believe so just yet.
But think about the benefits of the plan. Some of the biggest issues that we had in past normal seasons was teams all out tanking and then starters resting and then starters resting at the end. So we're talking about like in a normal season from from game 15 onwards, it would just be like a rest show. Like all these starters would be playing at the end of the season.
I like the play-in, but only for teams who are above 500. Teams below 500 should not be mentioned. So Pelicans no. And the Wizards, I mean, sure, they're balling lately, but if they would have ended their season like today, because they're below 500, I don't think they deserved it. I think it should be 1 through 16.
No, but that adds.
It's a different situation.
But that adds to the intrigue. Like, dog, you got to think about this as a business perspective. Why do you think March Madness is one of the biggest events ever?
1 through 16.
Because fans of small colleges who are not good can believe that they can knock off a giant. So if you add that intrigue to an NBA franchise that's not winning,
but your giant is the 7th seed, who's probably not even gonna make it into the NBA, like to the past the first round.
Okay, but giving your fans hope that you could possibly make the playoffs, bro, that adds so much to.
That's why I do like about it, because you give it, like you said, you have a chance of actually making it.
Yeah, but I liked it for the bubble, and look, I like the play-in tournament. I do. My only issue is, why are we rewarding teams who probably wouldn't have made the playoffs? Like they shouldn't be in the playoffs if they're 37 and 45.
Okay, but what if they're a team that had to go through a lot of injuries?
But what if they're a team that's
like the Wizards? I mean, the Wizards had injuries, COVID.
Dog, the Wizards were off for 2 weeks, bro, because of COVID. Russ was playing with a torn quad, and they have Scott Brooks writing nothing on a clipboard.
That is trash. Scott Brooks is the worst.
Like, don't forget about Scott Brooks too. Like in their affliction of problems, they're dealing with Scott Brooks. COVID.
Sponsor us.
Oh yeah, Scott Brooks. Hey man, we just want to say we respect you. Please sponsor us. Go ahead.
I mean, I kind of agree with Jayson because there's this interesting dynamic. There's this thing that can happen that I don't want to happen. The idea is that the better team is going to win, right? So the 7 and the 8 seed, they have they're setting them up for success. This play-in tournament is setting them up for success because the 7 or one of those two teams has 2 tries. You fail to get into the 7, you get into the 8, right? So the idea is that the better team will win. However, things can happen. The NBA is kind of crazy. So that under 500 team could potentially cause an upset and win and then get into a playoff spot that they don't deserve. And now we're watching bums play.
They won. They won.
They won. Like, okay, so.
What do you mean they don't deserve it? They won.
Okay, look. Warriors versus Grizzlies. 9 times out of 10, the Grizzlies beat them. But what about that one game that they just can't control Steph? instead of
bad.
him scoring 30, he scores 60,
Too bad.
and then they
You
get
gotta
into the
win. You gotta win.
playoffs.
No,
Too
I
bad.
don't
NBA
like
wants to see
that.
Steph
I don't
anyway.
like that
Too
one
bad.
because you mentioned the Warriors and he's a Warriors fan. Think about it like this. Imagine if you're who's the 6th seed right now, and I mean the 7th seed right now in the East. Charlotte? Okay.
The Heat.
Imagine you're Charlotte, a team that's up and coming that it really exceeded expectations. You have one off game against the Bulls, who have really done crappy and who should be a lot better than what they are, especially after the Vucevic trade. Sure, Levine has been hurt or COVID protocols, but the team should be better. You really think that one off game that the Hornets had, they deserve to be out of the play-in tournament? Or they deserve to be out of the playoffs because of that one bad game?
That's not how it works though, because they have 2 opportunities to do
I
so.
know, but you get my point. Like my point is,
I like your
It's not like,
point,
it's not like
but the
one
thing
try
is,
and that's it. You have another.
your emphasis right now is the one team playing a bad game. What if the other team, who has no business being anywhere near the playoff, just exceeds, they just have a godly game? You know, what if one of their players go off for 50 and then now they're in a playoff
But here's the
series
thing.
and then they get
Here's
swept
the thing.
and it's
Here's-
boring?
here's-
Basketball movie.
Here's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. It's no harm, no foul, because even if they win, they're gonna lose to the 2nd seed anyway.
Okay.
You're right.
It
You're
doesn't
right.
matter.
I understand that, but I'd rather
You're right.
Brooklyn and Miami go to 6 games than Brooklyn sweeping the freaking Wizards. You know, there's a big difference. Kevin
Nah.
Durant versus Jimmy, but obviously Brooklyn's gonna win that.
Okay,
It's
but
a
like,
five,
okay,
it's a
listen,
5-6 series.
Alessandro. Most of the time, there won't a crazy hot streak in the NBA playoffs because the defense gets tightened, right? So most of the time, the better team will win. But I'm saying, like, it really doesn't matter because if the Hornets were that up and coming team that they were supposed to be, then they would have won. Maybe they lose on like a buzzer beater, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like that just adds to the intrigue, that adds to the drama, and they're gonna get clapped by what the Suns or the
I like it. Like I like this drama. I find it entertaining.
Here's the thing: is my point is there is a big difference between a team that puts up a fight and goes to 5 or 6 games and a team that is destined to get swept. The Bulls go up against the freaking 76ers, they're getting swept. The Heat are not getting swept. And that gives you more games to watch for the fans. That brings more money to the NBA because more games equals more money, obviously,
But
and
who
more
doesn't
viewers
wanna-
because it's a more competitive series.
Who
doesn't
doesn't
matter
want to see
because
a Cinderella
here's
story?
why I
Who
say
doesn't
that.
want to see? Who doesn't want to see a Cinderella story? Who doesn't want-
that doesn't bring you more money than the play-in games would, because the play-in games they add intrigue to the regular season that was struggling, right? Now you have all these ratings coming from the regular season. You have the play-in that's going to get those big-time one-game, one-and-done ratings.
Absolutely right.
And then the playoffs are going to have high ratings regardless. Maybe not that series. The Nets are going to play the Sixers the next series, and then you're going to get the ratings. So you add the ones from the regular season, playoffs, and playoffs. So it doesn't really matter.
Hands
That's a good
down,
point.
I agree with you.
Amen, Johnny.
My only issue is that teams that are below 500, I don't like the fact that they're making it, especially in the Eastern Conference, when in the West, there are probably teams, and not this year specifically, but most years, like back when Goran Dragic was on the Phoenix Suns, 41-41, he should have been he should have been in the play-in tournament, but they didn't have him back then, you know? So I don't know, man. There's a lot to look into. I can't wait till we talk about the play-in tournament, though, because it will be announced, I believe, in May 22nd. Is that when it is? May 22nd. So
No, it starts.
This is my year.
it starts. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll find out who is in that play-in tournament, and we'll have
Special
a very
play-in tournament
interesting
podcast.
discussion. Also, we are gonna have a topic, another podcast about who our favorite shooting guards are, but that one will have a little bit more homework done by ourselves.
I mean, we're gonna go through all the positions eventually.
Shooting guard is like so hard because there's so many. That's ridiculous.
Hard. Well, it's a definitive top 2, and then it just turns into a crapshoot
Yeah,
after
just like,
that.
just like last time, just like now.
Just
And you have
basically-
MJ, Kobe, and then it's like who goes?
Okay,
3, 4,
okay,
5.
don't no.
Oh, no spoilers. Oh, I'm sorry. People didn't know MJ and Kobe were top 2. I'm sorry. Let me not
Don't
spoil
do
it.
that. Nope.
I'm sorry, guys.
I was gonna say such a horrible joke, but I stopped myself.
Thank you,
Show some respect, bro.
for real.
Alrighty.
It was gonna be bad.
But guys, I do want to say thank you guys for joining.
Worse than that AIDS joke.
Johnny, please. I can't wait to see you guys next time. As for everybody else watching, please
Hey, let's talk about our sponsors. Thank you for
hit that like button, please.
Thank you for talking to Scott Brooks, AIDS Association, Krispy Kreme, Dunkin' Donuts, Golden State Warriors. Thank you for sponsoring.
No, we lost Duncan as a sponsor, but we called
That's
their
Dunkin'.
donuts crusty.
We still got the National AIDS Association though.
We got Krispy Kreme though.
NDA.
All right, guys. Thank you guys, and please have a great day.